All right, good people. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, so super excited that everybody's able to tune in today. As you guys are logging in, it's a little different from, I guess, Facebook or Zoom. When you know people are logging in, you kind of know who you're talking to. Today, specifically, because I'm doing this on YouTube, depending on your nickname on YouTube, I won't know who you are. So when you guys are in, go ahead and just comment down below. Let me know you're in the building. Second, today is about a different 10 pounds. Now, some of us want to lose 10 pounds and some of us want to put on 10 pounds, but the goal of this is doing a different 10 pounds. There's been numerous amount of times, whether it's myself or other people I've had the opportunity to train, that we are at 200 pounds and we drop down to 190 and we lost 10 pounds, and then life goes on and we're back at 200 and then we lose the same 10 pounds, and then 2 years go by and we're back at 200 and then we have to lose the same 10 pounds. So today, what I want to discuss is how to lose a different 10 pounds. If you're willing and want to know how to lose a different 10 pounds, I need you to comment down below. Let me know who's in the game. So before I do that, man, I just want to thank all of you guys for being a part of this. This is for the Mean Green fam. This is not in the Daily Sweat fam. This is not a open to the public, and we're just trying to get a whole bunch of people to join our online or for our gyms or boot camps. This is specifically for you guys. And being in the fitness space, as long as I've been there, you have to know that we just cannot be the Blockbuster, right? And what I mean by that is Blockbuster was the bomb when I was growing up, right? Like, I hated getting those late fees, if anybody remember those. But at the same time, that's what we did. Now it's obsolete. Nobody even knows who Blockbuster is. And that's the same way what happens when we journey in this fitness game. You, as an individual, have to understand that routines of how you move your body will continue to get better. From 2023 to 2033, I promise there will be an easier way to work your body, right? Same thing when it comes to nutrition. So today, man, I'm just going to kind of venture down to what I experienced. All right, so let me see who's on real quick. Just a couple shout outs to Whitney. Hey, Whit. J Money, what's up? Jackie, what's up? Hey, y'all. ED, what's up? Bobby, just talked to you, B. Joe, what's up? So today there are 4 principles that I'm gonna go over, and just remember, for those that are not on live, that's cool, you'll be able to replay this, right? But for the people that are online, this is gonna be my way of customizing a system for you. Obviously, I can't be at the North Gym and each boot camp location and the gyms and each personal training member that trains with Mean Green and be on online subscription and individually match with people. So today, the way that I match your need is by you being online and answering questions if you're up to that. So 4 principles. These 4 principles I created came from my last 90 days. Not sure who was able to see my nakedness on my personal IG page, but man, I didn't feel good. To be honest, I didn't. I didn't know who the person in the mirror was when I looked in the mirror. Now, you got to remember, I was finding success in my business. We were really succeeding at a high level. I was finding success in my relationships. I was finding success in my spirit, my faith. I was finding success at helping other people grow their business. I was finding success at seeing people be empowered in their fitness journey. Like, I was seeing success everywhere but myself. And I am that guy that leads you to where you need to be. But it's just like riding an airplane. How can I help anybody if I'm not first helping myself? And I got to a point where I was looking in the mirror and I would try to disguise myself. All right. I'm just being transparent to set the foundation. I would look in the mirror. Seriously, I would look in the mirror to the side and I would see my stomach. And then I'd start, like, you know how we do. We squeeze our stomach. I got to a point where I would wear more of a bigger t-shirt to the gym. I get to a point where, y'all know me, I would take my shirt off. And when I work out, I stopped taking my shirt off to work out. I would squeeze my stomach all the time just to make sure that my little pudge that was showing wasn't showing. And it began to play a huge factor in my mentality. The way that I would talk to myself, the way that I would go after goals, I start noticing a trend. I start limiting myself in my body. I start limiting myself in my belief. So for the business world of me, I'm very aggressive. I'm a go-getter, and I start being kind of passive, or not necessarily passive. I start self-doubting myself, and I start trying to find confirmation in others. I would go to our team and ask them about an idea and see what their reaction would be for me to move forward. And that's not Chris. Chris, when I come across something and I believe it's good, hey team, this is what we're gonna do. And I started noticing that about myself. I started noticing that within my marriage as a father, and that's just not acceptable. So I had to own up, and that's when my 90 days started. And that's where I came up with this different 10 pounds. There are 4 principles that I lived by. The first one I want to talk about is fitness, all right? Working out. All right, talk to me a little bit for those that are online. Who wants to do what? All right, and what I mean by that, Chris, I wanted to lose fat, and I wanted to put on muscle. I wanted to be mobile, but I wanted to be able to work out. But I didn't want to beat my body up. I went through a back injury, and I dealt with it for 5 years, and my back started getting to a point where it started feeling really good. I didn't want to relapse. I didn't want to go back to having back pain. So mentally, going back to self-doubt, I felt like I was one move away. So there were certain workouts at the gym that I would stay away from because I was scared of movement. I was tired of feeling that way. So when you say, Chris, what was your fitness goals with your body? Gain muscle, lose fat, be fearless when I work out, and not beat my body up. That was my goal. All right, I want to talk to somebody specifically. So I'm going to look down below, and I want to see who has what goals. And whoever says this, I'm going to evaluate what they said. So the first person I have is on my phone, and then I'm going to go to my comment section. Where'd it go? Hold on one second. I'm pulling this up on my phone. Boom. There you go. All right, first question. Does a different 10 pounds work for everyone? All right, that's such a great question. I want to say yes. And the reason why I want to say yes is because if you put yourself in a position to create consistency, it works whether you're trying to lose muscle, lose fat, or even maintain. So I want to tell you first and foremost, yes, it does work. It's not for people that just want to lose weight. Because for me, it's not that I was trying to lose 50 pounds, right? I probably need to lose maybe a solid 8 to 10 pounds. But I achieved my weight loss on the scale probably in the first 45 days. Then after that, it became maintenance and also, putting on a little mass. So yes, I do want to say it does work for everyone. And then the part B of the question was, I want a flatter tummy. So I know that I didn't write that if I said the word tummy, but I want a flatter tummy and more toned legs and arms. So check this out. This is part 1 of just working out, but part 2 of this is going to be nutrition. So I'm going to come back to this question when it comes to nutrition, but with working out, man, the biggest thing that I learned with what I did was I did not have to beat my body up to get definition, to tone my body. And it kind of goes against everything that I used to do, especially in sports. You got to remember, for those that don't know, I have an athletic background. So in basketball, when I played, especially college, collegiately and semi-pro, that was almost my job. It wasn't going to the gym for 30 minutes and just get a sweat. I'm in the gym, literally the basketball gym, and I'm in the gymnasium for 2 to 3 hours, getting jump shots up, handling the ball, doing conditioning drills. And then I would go to the weight room for another 2 hours. That's 5 hours out of 24 hours. And then that would either be in the morning, and then I would come back and get some more jump shots up at 1 or 2 hours of just jump shots, and then playing pickup basketball. So you're talking to someone that would do 5 to 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's how my mind was created to get better. So when you come to what I'm doing now, it was a battle. So for me specifically, I learned that I didn't have to beat my body up that much. And number 2, I'm going to be a nerd on this part, and hopefully y'all follow me. Your body, there are different stages of training. The OPT model, one of the certifications I have from NASM, teaches that you have, strength endurance, stabilization, strength endurance, hypertrophy training, maximum strength, and power. The first stage is you basically getting balanced and aligned and breathing correctly and doing high repetition. Second one is probably your reps between, if you ever see a movement whereas 18 to 20 reps, that's kind of your second stage. Your third straight stage is typically how we train in Mean Green hypertrophy training, hitting a muscle group 4 times and doing 8 to 12 reps on each movement, right? And then you have maximum strength, which is kind of 4 to 6 reps, and then power is like 1 rep as much as you can, doing that 5 times with 3 to 4 minutes in between. So when you talk about hypertrophy training, the reason why I use Mean Green as an example is because in Daily Sweat is because that gives you the definition, right? Golly, I know it's gonna sound like a nerd, but that's why you hear it, right? So the chest, for an example, if I go do a chest workout, typically I would teach midline, which is the center part of your pecs, 3 sets of 10. So that's flat bench press. And then I would go and do decline push-ups, bench press, another 3 sets of 10 to get the bottom layer of my chest. And then incline bench press. That's 3 sets of 10. So you have 30, 60, 90 reps. I would do that let's just make it up, on a Monday. But by the time Wednesday hit, because I get delayed soreness, my chest is shot. By Thursday, Friday, it kind of gets back to normal. And then by the time Monday hits again, I'm recovered where I can do that again. So there were 90 reps that was produced in a 1-week workload in one day. What I designed and what I started doing was split training. Split training is the same exact thing. You're still doing hypertrophy training. You're still getting the same amount of volume, but instead of doing it in one day, you do it throughout the week. So I can do, for example, on Monday, let's just say we did flat bench press to hit the mid part of your chest, 3 sets of 10. That's it. So when I roll out another chest workout on Wednesday and I do the upper part, 3 sets of 10, my chest is okay. And then say by Saturday, I'm doing some type of thing at the bottom. That's another 3 sets of 10. So I'm able to do it more effectively because my body's not so fatigued. And also the mental part, which I'll talk a little bit about in step 4, principle 4, the mental part of knowing that you're not going to beat your body up to a point where you can't move the next 2 days, it puts you in a position to find more consistency. So that's what I love about what we're rolling out at the Daily Sweat in Mean Green, is that split training is being rolled out. And I did this the last 90 days of the year, and now we're rolling it out for the first 90 days of 2023. So just remember, for the person that's asking about the flat stomach, the toned arms, it takes place, and it doesn't have to be a place where you have to hit just your quads on Monday and you got to beat them up so hard where you can't walk up the stairs on Tuesday and Wednesday. We can do 3 sets of 10 on the quadricep, right? And then come back to it on Wednesday, and then come back to it on Friday or Saturday or whatnot. But I love split training. It really helped me from a standpoint of growth. Okay. All right. Let me go back to the screen and see who's on. I'm gonna pick up the questions after. Hey, Ms. Lopez, Stephanie, Faye, not all the 5th graders listening. Oh crap, y'all keep y'all job. Okay, I'm gonna pick up with Raven. Hey Raven. Raven says, hey y'all, I'm trying to shed some pounds, but also build endurance and strength. All right, so again, I'm going to come back to a lot of this when it comes to nutrition, but for the workout portion, just because, again, I'm spending time on the first principle. Raven, the question I have for you, and I would love for you to comment below, how many times a week do you work out? All right, so just chat down below. And I know you're a hybrid. You do gym and boot camp. I'm just curious on the amount of times that you work out, so I'm going to wait for her response. But the goal for split training, the beauty of it is I worked out 5 times a week, right? That's like my body's feeling great. But at times I worked out 4 times a week. And the only reason why I worked out 4 times a week was one time I fell off my scooter and I jammed my nail all the way up and it tore my toes up, and I was limping for about a week. So again, I wasn't able to work out, but I typically worked out 5 times a week. All right, just total of 5, between 5. Okay, perfect. So great question. Great response. So she works out 5 times. So to earn and deserve what you need and desire, Raven, truthfully, I believe you already work out enough. All right. So the cool thing about joining, whether it's us or anybody else that you believe in, you're not worrying about the philosophy of how to move your body. You trust what you're doing. The thing that we got to look at more so is going to be principle number 2 for you, Raven. So shredding pounds. So I will say this before I move forward past your question, Raven, is that when you want to shred, just remember, this is what I went through with split training. I felt sometimes I wasn't getting the work that I needed to get done because I wasn't limping or wanting to puke after a workout. You have to trust that your body was activated and you put force towards those muscles and you got a good pump and just continue to move forward. The second thing that I would tell you about shredding with working out is you have to challenge yourself on those reps. And what I mean by that is going back to bench press. If I get the bar and the bar is 45 pounds and Coach Jared says, hey guys, we're doing an EMOM. Every 90 seconds, I want you to do 10 reps on bench press. I can easily get that bar. I can put 135 on there, which is 45-pound plates, and I can do 10 reps unbroken probably really quick. But that's not going to challenge me the way that I need to be challenged. So remember, you only got 3 sets of 10 on just that one muscle group. So for me, it's better for me to put maybe 185 to 205 on the bar versus 135 because I'm going to have to work my butt off to get those 10 reps. But remember, it's only a total of 30 reps for the whole day for that muscle group. So I will say when you're doing the split training programming, especially in the gym, do those warm-up reps and do them seriously. You want to make sure when you get to your working weight that it's challenging because remember, you're only going to go through that muscle group for that day 3 to 4 times at the max. So again, if you want to shred, challenge your body with your lifts. It's okay to get to a point on, you're going to hear Jared and I with the programming call our reps 10 rep max or 12 rep max. And what that means, when you do a 1 rep max, you're kind of trying to get your heaviest weight. But with a 2 rep max or 5 rep max, you're trying to get your heaviest weight on your 5th weight and get it completed. But we're going to do the same thing with our 10 and 12 and 15 reps. So challenge yourself with the weight. Great question. All right, what we got? Keep moving. T, my goal is to lose freaking body fat. So T, I'm going to come back to your question more so on principle number 2, but you work out a ton. And I actually think sometimes you may actually overwork yourself, but we'll talk about that in point number 2. Faye, I want to lose fat and put on muscle, be consistent with my nutrition. So again, Faye's another one. A lot of you, I see a lot at the gym, or I see you guys a lot on social media, and I know the work that you guys put in. So the effort in the gym or at the boot camp or in your PT is not going to be the challenge. It's going to be executing more so principle number 2, 3, and 4. But let me keep going. Me and you both, T, I want to be okay mentally, not being, Faye, I'm going to read that all the way. I want to be mentally okay with not being how I used to be. That one's interesting. Faye. And the reason why I'm going to touch on that one, because if you heard the last podcast with Wendy, shout out to Wendy, she asked Jared a really interesting question. She asked him, do he still deal with not playing football right now, or the what ifs? It was such a heart-striking question to me because all athletes have that day. Some athletes journey end in middle school, some in high school, some in college, some in semi-pro or pro, or even Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl champion, still deals with it, right? And the reason why I'm saying all that to say, there is a maturity of life, right? And you have to be okay with not being who you was at some point. And I'm not saying you have to limit yourself or give yourself a pass. But one thing I have to understand, I'm going to see if I can get close in the camera. I don't know if I got a hat on. It doesn't even matter. I have to be okay. It's a great example. I have to be okay with having gray hair. Look, I have to be okay. I'm at an age now where potentially I'm going to start getting gray hair, right? I can't get to a point where I'm beating myself up because I don't have jet black hair no more. It's life, right? You got to be okay with that. And a couple things when it comes to our body, there are some things that take place. Some women have C-section, right? When they have a baby. That's a part of life. You had a gift that you gave to the world, and we have to be okay with that, right? If anything happens to your body where you don't necessarily have control, it's just a maturity thing, you have to be okay with it. So again, when your birthday come next year, you can't be mad that you're not 22 no more. It's some things that you're going to have to be okay with. And the one thing that I learned about myself with that specifically in the last 90 days was I had to be okay with being a little selfish, because it's tough, right, to give everybody you see something to make them better. You got to, all right, put it in perspective. Every time I see or talk to someone, it's typically for me to help them do something they haven't done or continue to do what they're doing, right? That's what I do for a living, and I cherish it. So doing that with everybody, from the gym to helping my father in his ministry to everything that I'm a part of, I'm typically trying to build and empower, right? I love that. That's what I do. But I had to be at some moments a little selfish when it came to Mean Green, right? For those, Faye's a great example. I don't know, Faye, I'm trying to see who else is online. I always work out the 6:15 class. I would teach to 5 and then work out at 6:15. I had to be selfish. I had to go home and work out after I put the mini me's to sleep, which means I would have loved to work out with the group class because I love group training, but I would stay, make sure I connect with people, take some pictures and video. I would leave probably towards the end of 6:15, get home, do what I do with the family, let them go to sleep, and then about 10:30, there was a sacrifice. There's sacrifice that I didn't get to work out my group class, but then there was a sacrifice where Tina probably wanted me not in the garage working out, but hanging out with her. So I had to be a little selfish for me at some point, but that's 30 to maybe 45 minutes of a day that I needed for myself. So again, man, it's okay. So I'm glad you said that, Faye. All right, keep it moving. Miss Timmons, what's up? I want to lose body fat, tone my body, and just be all around healthy. Weight isn't a huge factor. Health maintenance is my goal. I love it. I'm gonna keep going so I know everybody's questions. Okay. Stephanie agrees. Lose body fat for Whit. What's up, Whitney Carter? Lose body fat, build muscle, and be more consistent with nutrition. Raven, got that. I want to tone my shoulders and improve my posture. I got you, B. Ms. Lopez, lose fat, gain muscle. Okay. I see a lot of people want to lose fat. T, I want to look lean. I want to get my body frame, but I want some big thighs, and I want that. Okay, I got you, T. Hey, Miss A, good to see you. Much blessings to you, Bobby. Hey, easy on the gray hair, Bobby. I'm catching everybody, man. Yep, I felt like this message. Currently, I feel old, and yeah. So I'm gonna read this, Faye, just to continue it. Yeah, I felt that message. Currently, it's like I feel old, and I'm always trying to keep up with the younger people because I know I used to be such a badass. I know I need to stay in my own lane, etc. But easier said than done, definitely mentally. Faye, hey Faye. Faye's here listening. With y'all, keep y'all jobs. Jackie, what's up? Yes, indeed, I'm okay with modifying and not trying to keep up with you youngsters, but I ain't stopping. I like how she said that. I ain't stopping, but I'm okay with where I am now, and I'm not the same as I was. I love it. Hey, man, as you can see, everybody, Faye, is definitely in agreement and supporting because Bobby's, yeah, I love it. Lose body fat, tone. All right, perfect. So I kind of went through and kind of got everybody. Everybody looked like they want to lose body fat and gain muscle. I see a couple people want definitions in their shoulders. So look, with the workout specifically, a couple things that I have for what I did, okay? Number one, I spent 5 to 10 minutes on the warm-up. But the 5 to 10 minutes on the warm-up for me was really an aggressive 5 to 10 minutes. So I've noticed something about Mean Green. I noticed something about the people that I train online. Y'all are really... Y'all high level people. Y'all really execute, and y'all are driven, and y'all are really pros at what you do, which means you're probably busy people. You probably got kids or siblings you're helping or parents, or, you know, you're running a business or you're in education and you're changing the world. Like a lot of you are so busy. So for me, I'm the same. So one thing I notice is that when I work out, I can't work out for 3 hours a day. Or work out for an hour, then hang out, and then do another hour and hang out and do another. I don't have the time I used to have. So when I get in the gym, I have to be really, really effective. So you even notice this in our program in this year. My warm-ups, that 5 to 10 minutes is aggressive. Who did the warm-up today, yesterday, or Monday? And you was like, hold on, was that the workout? So there are different type of movements in warming up. You have dynamic and static stretching. Static stretching is kind of touching the toes, counting to 10 seconds. Your dynamic movement is kind of like your walking kicks. So what we're doing with our movement is to make sure your muscle groups for that muscle group that we're working out that day is firing off correctly. So that first 5 to 10 minutes, I know it's a time that typically we want to kind of hold our shoulder, and I want to talk to Bobby and catch up on what he did for the holidays. But for me, I was really aggressive with all my warm-ups because I need my body to be firing off correctly. But also, more importantly, I don't got time to waste. So for what I did in the last 90 days, my warm-up was really, really really stern, and I was right into it. Second thing, your workload, 30 to 40 minutes. That's all you need. That's it. I know some of us want to wake up and do an hour of cardio at night, and then you want to do an hour after your workout. Like, trust me. All right. If you see my picture, I did not, my average workout at the gym that I program for, that's going on now, you'll notice the workloads are only 30, 35 minutes if you look at the workout. That's number one. Number two, the daily sweat workouts that I do, they're 25 to 35 minutes. That's all I was doing, guys. I did not work out crazy. The same workouts that y'all doing now is the same workout I did. And I dropped on the scale. I ended up dropping 12 pounds, but I put on, I think, 7 pounds of muscle, which is ridiculous, in 90 days, right? Literally, my stomach was bigger than my chest, literally. And I was able to do that in 90 days without beating my body up. And that's key. So I mentioned about my back, and I dealt with a little shoulder and tight hips. And I feel the best I felt in years. And I think part of it came because I wasn't overworking my body. And I know that's tough because we feel like we have to sweat. We feel like we want that instant gratification that, since I can't see that instant gratification in the mirror, I want to feel it right now in my body. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you do not have to beat your body up. If you're following my vlog, and I'm going to post another video today on my IG, there were times I noted where, like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. I had a call with Jared. I'm like, Jared, I don't know if Jared, if I'm online, if you're online, you can kind of comment below. I told you, I was like, man, I don't know, like, if this is actually working. Like, I worked out and I had energy after. Like, I worked out and then my kids wanted to go play basketball and I was good to go do it. Like, I don't know if this is working. But again, man, that was my workload. 5 to 10 minute warm-ups and then working out. All right, so the workout part for majority of you is second nature. All right, as long as you stay consistent, you're going to be good. Now, a lot of you are I don't think nobody snuck in. That's not a part of Mean Green, but if you have not been working out, then that's what the workout load is. But for the most part, all you guys already work out. The only thing I was stressed before I go to principle number 2 out of 4 is decide how many times you should be working out. So, for example, if I'm going down this list, I would say the average person that say I want to lose body fat, I'm going to use Whitney Carter as an example. Where you go, Whitney, where it go? I know I seen your name, girl. Okay, Whit, I can't find you no more. Or maybe it's a lot of comments. One or the other. All right, Whit, I think I remember what you said. I believe you said you want to lose body fat. There you go. I'm sorry. Lose body fat, build muscle, and stay more consistent with nutrition. All right. So this is what I noticed with working out. For you, recommendation, it also has a lot to do with what you do for a living and what you have to do outside of what you do for a living, right? The average person that wants to lose fat and build muscle, at least 4 times a week, no more than 6, right? You really got to go off the way your body feel. Personally, I did 4 to 5. But the way that you know how many times you should be working out is based upon your energy level and also your recovery level. Energy level, what I mean by that is if you dread going to the gym, your body's telling you something. And when I say dread, not mentally, like I don't feel like doing, like your body, like, oh man, I don't know, my shoulders are so tight, or my hips, I feel so tight. Like if your body's telling you something, listen. All right. That's number 1, because some of you might need to only work out 2 to 3 times a week. That's it. Because if your body start breaking down, how many more times can you work out? Right. Number 2, I'm going to come back to that one. But yeah, because I'm about to go into nutrition. Let's go ahead and jump into nutrition. I'm going to lead with. Number 2, the reason why you know how much you should work out is because of what you put in the kitchen. That's why I'm filming this one literally in the kitchen, because majority of this is going to be about the kitchen. You see, in the kitchen, to be honest, I don't cook. I don't want to wait no food. I don't want to keep up with what I eat. I just want to eat, and I want to eat when I want to eat. The problem with Chris is that Chris only eats maybe once a day, sometimes twice, right? I get up. If I don't do that shake in the morning, by the time I get to the gym, I might eat, right? That like lunch or something. And then I go 6 to 8 hours without eating. I just get caught into life. And then by the time I get home and play with the kids and put them in the bed, and then I eat, I'm not eating again until 10 o'clock. Like that just wasn't working, right? And then some of us may say, Chris, I eat too much or whatever it may be. But the key that is going to fuel you to work out is how you feel your body. I noticed that I worked out 35 to 45 minutes on average. Because I wasn't working out as much, I could spend more time in the kitchen. All right, y'all might need to zoom up and turn your volume up because this is going to be really good for a lot of you. If you're working out for 90 minutes, what if you took out of that 90 minutes, what if you took 30 minutes of it and you logged your food? Look, I hate logging food. Like I've been doing this for 14 years, and to this day, I still don't like logging food. But the way I looked at it, my philosophy was if I can teach a training class and then I can sit down and tag everybody on Instagram because I know the importance of what that does, why can't I do that for me? If I worked out, why can't I log what I ate or what I'm about to eat? Because the truth is, when I knew what I was going to eat, it actually gave me the mindset of what I need to do in my workout. So I reverse engineered this thing, right? To give you an example, if I know that I was going to a birthday party and I know that we were going to go to, I'm trying to think of something, Lupe. I love Lupe Tortillas, one of my favorite restaurants. If I'm going to go there and I'm going to have the fajitas, I know that I need protein, right? And based upon what I needed to eat, I know I needed to eat about 6 to 8 ounces of protein for that meal, right? Now, going to Lupe, for those that have been, it's hard to get 6 to 8 ounces with the amount of meat they serve you. So let's just say I know I was going to go a little bit more and eat more meat. Then that means meat throughout the day may have been a smaller portion. But again, it all comes down to the number that you need to hit. And because I know I was consistent at my workout, my nutrition, I knew what I need to do in my workout. So if I'm going to go out to eat at 7 o'clock at night, then that means I need to work out probably a little bit earlier in the day, right? And because this is the most important part, guys, hopefully I don't miss this. Because I'm going to Lupe, it's not the meat that gets you in trouble. Come on, church. I know somebody's commenting down below on this one. It's the chips, it's the salsa, it's the tortilla, it's the margaritas, it's everything that comes on the perimeter of the meat. And this is the key. Because I was working out earlier in the day, but eating at a birthday dinner at night, that means I'm eating my carbs later on, which means I can't eat my carbs later on because I'm not eating until 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I had to strategically get a lettuce wrap, right? Get the lettuce, put the meat in there, and then I would eat that based upon what I did earlier that day. Because I don't want to work out and fuel my body correctly, and then by the time I get to the dinner, load up with carbs that I'm not going to burn because carbohydrates give you energy, but if you don't use it, you store it, right? So again, that will fuel you. All right, so the kitchen is a really big thing. As you can see, I'm kind of segueing into how important this is. Out of curiosity, for those that are on live, I don't know if you can do emojis. You should be able to, but you can say yes or no at the same time. Who logs their food? Who doesn't log their food? Thumb up if you log your food. Thumb down if you don't log your food. Yes if you log your food. No if you don't log your food. I'm definitely intrigued with this one. So as you guys, as a survey, I'm curious to see what you guys say. But with what I did for a different 10 pounds, listen to me. Listen to me carefully. I don't like logging food. But I didn't like the way I looked. Right? So I had to pick. Do I want to accept that I'm going to have to keep up with what I'm fueling my body with, or am I going to accept not having the confidence that I deserve? Just to be real. Was I okay with doing a tedious task that I feel is tedious to make me look a certain way and feel a certain way, or was I going to just accept that I was going to continue to gain weight every year for the rest of my life? Right? Was I okay with learning something that I didn't learn ever before? Or was I okay with putting myself in an unhealthy position for my family? So I had to make a choice. So for me specifically, I was tired of feeling the way that I felt. And it goes into the definition of insanity, right? You can't expect a different result and you keep doing the same thing. So if I don't like logging my food, and I don't continue to log my food or know what I'm putting in my body, if I continue to do that and expect a different result, like, I'm crazy. So at that moment, man, on October 3rd, I decided right then and there. I was in Mexico on a trip. On the last day of my trip, I started logging my food. Boom. All right. Out of curiosity, let me see some thumbs ups and thumbs down. Just want to see if I'm alone. Yeah. Yeah, thumbs up. Oh, we got one thumb up. We got one thumb up. I see a lot of thumb downs. We got some thumbs up. Okay. Okay. All right. So check this out. I use the app called Carbon. All right. CARBON. Let me pull it up. The reason why I'm pulling this one out, and I don't get paid to pull this out, I promise, guys. The reason why I'm pulling this out because this one's based upon macros. So let me try to do it. Let me see if I can get the camera on there. So this is how it actually looks. If you're looking at it, it breaks down based upon your goals, your macros, which is what you eat in fats, what you eat in protein, and what you eat in carbohydrates. And it would tell you based upon what you want to achieve, how much macros you should be doing. Once you log your food, it keeps up with your macros, and it would tell you how much is remaining from your carbohydrates, from your fats, and from your proteins. All right, so I'm going to dig into this one for about 5 minutes. You'll notice in the vlog when I posted that Milton, my brother, shout out to Milton, he actually came over and he would not necessarily cook, but they know I don't cook, so I think they were just trying to make sure I don't burn the house down. But he was really breaking down on different strategies of how to weight your food and how to achieve great tasting food. Look, I like to eat, but I don't like eating bad tasting food, right? Can I get an amen, right? So for me specifically, that vlog post, I'm going to be excited to see your response when y'all see it. But at the end of the day, you need protein for recovery and replenishment. You need carbohydrates and fats to give you energy. To give you a great example, I love Texas Roadhouse. Like, that is kind of like my ideal spot to go eat. It's not too expensive, but it's good tasting food. And I like steak. So typically, it's not a lot of options here where I live, but we do have Texas Roadhouse. And after my boys' baseball game, that was kind of the spot that we went to. And I will order a ribeye steak, mashed potatoes, and green beans. All right. If anybody's on it, you'll probably agree, like, maybe you thought that was kind of healthy. Mashed potatoes, green beans, and a steak, right? So I like the ribeye steak, not because it's a ribeye. I just like the steak. I like the meat portion of it, right? I don't eat the fat. But when I start logging my food, it really put me in a position to understand what I was putting in my body. So you have the ribeye at Texas Roadhouse and you have the New York strip. Both of them might give you, 40 grams to 50 grams of protein, right? So in the past, and this is where hopefully you guys that know me personally know that I am who I am. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm not something that I'm not. This is what I've taught for years, right? And this is why it's so convicting, but at the same time, I can't live off of what I thought. I have to live off where I'm going. And I would tell a person as well as myself, hey, you're getting the protein that you need from that steak. But the truth is, you're not. You're getting the protein, but what about the fat? So what I didn't know until I started logging my food was if I got the New York strip and I got the ribeye, they're both going to give me the same amount of protein for the most part. But the amount of fat that's on the ribeye is way greater than the amount of fat that's on the New York strip. Again, I just wanted a steak because I wanted some steak. I wanted the meat, right? I hear Jason in my head. Anywho, I wanted the taste of the meat. I wanted the protein, but I don't want the fat. So I made that slight adjustment. I still go to Texas Roadhouse. I still order a steak. I still order the same size steak. The only difference is that I get the New York strip versus the ribeye. And it's just because that fat in the ribeye, it's not that I don't eat fat. It took majority of my fat for the whole day that I needed to consume. But the only way that I would have known that was if I logged my food. So again, when I started learning those little principles, it was a cheat code for me. So it gave me the opportunity to eat good tasting food, but I had to plan that thing out. Again, going back to Lupe, I remember one time that I went to Lupe. I spent 30 minutes trying to figure out what I can eat on the menu versus talking to my family and friends that were there. That sucked, right? But the learning curve of that was before I go out to eat somewhere, figure out what I'm going to eat by looking at my macros on my app. So again, man, I can't tell you guys not to, or you should, or what's the perfect way. I'm just telling you what I did. For 90 days, I committed to logging my food. Going back to the app, it's a $10 paid app. But what I love about the app, once you put, hey, I want to put on muscle, I want to lose body fat, I'm this tall, I weigh this much, it gives you your macros. It breaks it down for you. But you have a weekly weigh-in. And my first weigh-in, I actually lost, I think I went down from 214 to like 211 in the first week. It told me I lost too much weight, right? And it automatically analyzed what I was doing and gave me a new set of macros for that next week. So I love that part of the app where it wasn't like, hey, these are your macros, they're set in stone and you need to hit this. It made adjustments depending on what your weigh-in was. And you got to be honest on that. They ask you a question, did you follow what you were supposed to follow? So if you said no, then it doesn't change anything. But again, going back to putting in what you know what you're putting in. Guys, girls, we can eyeball it all we want. To be honest, you can use the fist rule all you want. But until you figure out exactly what's put in your body, all the working out you're doing, it kind of goes to waste. I'm just being as brutal as possible because I want to catch, if I catch one of you to buy in on what I'm saying today and this changes your life for the rest of your life, like I'm good with it, right? But you're going to have to keep up what you're eating. You're going to have to weigh your food. You're going to have to know exactly what you're going in your body. Now, I'm not training anybody to be a bodybuilder, but what I will tell you is anybody that has trained with a trainer or a program that has the bodybuilding principles, they have those makeovers. Not because of the push-up. It's not because of the sprint. It's not because of a split training program versus interval versus EMOM versus Tabata. It doesn't matter the program. It's typically coming down to how you're feeling your body. So, man, I just really wanted to encourage you to track your food. Again, I hate tracking my food, but I hated the way that I felt more. And until you get to a point where you're that desperate where you're going to log it and stay consistent, again, I was consistent. I didn't feel like being consistent, but I was consistent. I opened up my app more than I opened up the software to look at mean green stuff. Think about that. I run a brand, but I was opening up another app more than I was opening up a brand that I'm running. That's how important it was to me. And it became second nature. And truth of the matter, the more I did it, the better I got. I could look at a package, and when I'm buying food, I can say, okay, that's the amount of protein that's going to be in a 6-ounce steak or chicken. Okay, this cup of steamed vegetables is going to be this. So I got better at it, and you're talking to someone that don't cook. I am the most barbarian, bring me my food, Tina type of dude. So if I can do it, guys, you can do it. The last thing I say about nutrition, I'm going to go kind of to the comments, is I didn't drink alcohol for 45 days. I'm on a trip where it's all inclusive. And that last day, I was like, I'm done. All right. Based upon what Faye told me and Jason Miller, and then what my friend at the trip said, I stopped right when I had that conversation with my boy LB. That was it. And I told myself on that day I was not going to have another drink until Tina's birthday. All right. Now, I don't drink like, hey, I'm cracking open beer every night. I'm not that type of drinker. But if I go out to hang out with somebody on a weekend or to watch a football game, yeah, I'll grab a drink. All right. But this is the key. I noticed that there are certain triggers of sugar that take place when you intake it. It can create other challenges. And it may not seem like it's such a big deal to have 2 drinks, but it really is. But for me, for 45 days, I cut it. Now, you got to remember when I did this, I did it in October, which means there's football season going on. Every Sunday fun day, there's no drinks. College football, no drinks. Homecoming, none of that, right? There are birthdays, celebration, all this. Here comes, like, everything's taking place kind of seemed like at that time. But I had to be disciplined for 45 days. I am known when I go to Lupe to get my Grand Gold margarita with strawberry mango. I love that drink, right? So when we would go after my boys' basketball game on Saturday, it's kind of the brunch thing we would do. I had to cut it out completely. 45 days. Just telling you what I did. And then after that, I only had a drink for Tina's birthday. I had a drink for Thanksgiving, or drinks, and then Christmas. That was it. I had planned when I was going to drink, but I had to went to so many birthday parties in between. I had so many people offering me different things, but again, go back to the way I want to feel versus the way that I want to emotionally please myself. I'm gonna leave it right there because there's so much I can go into food. Let me go in the comments real quick and then I'm gonna get out of here. Look at the menu beforehand. Yep, Jared, that app is really, really good. Whitney, what app was that? I'm over. Whit, take it from me, sis. That app. Actually, I got Brittany Joseph on it, and I don't know for those that know Britt, like she's been doing really well, and it's just a great way of tracking. It does have a scan code, but I've noticed when I scan some of the stuff, it wouldn't have it, but I had to type it in. But it made me look at labels. That's the key to it, is looking at labels. Like if I grab some supplements that my boys use, right? I'm so known to now looking at this because anybody can say, golly, guys, I don't want to get cut from any potential sponsors, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. When you go to HEB, there's placement for every single product in HEB, right? So you notice all the candy in magazines, they pay a price to be right there. It's just product placement, right? So everywhere that you're in a grocery store, everything is based upon product placement. You'll notice that the perimeter of the store is typically the more healthier spots, and then inside of it is the more processed spot, which is not the most, healthiest spot. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you have to look at your labels. Have you ever looked at a soda like a Coke and you have a Diet Coke or fat-free this? Do you know a lot of people put fat-free on a package, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy for you? Just because it says diet on the cover doesn't mean it's healthy for you. You have to get to a point where you're looking at how much protein is in it, how much fat is in it, how much processed sugars in it, and then you'll make better adjustments. So again, you can't trust the label. The label is product placement. It is advertisement. It's not there for you to specifically make the best decision for your health. It's there for them to make $1. All right. Sorry, all potential sponsors that's hearing this. But wait, you can definitely do it. Show us what the app icon looks like. Hey, I got you. So again, Carbon is just one of many. There are so many different apps that you guys can utilize, and I'll send it out to you guys maybe via text if I can on the software. But Carbon is one that I live by. $10, and obviously you have MyFitnessPal. You have all these other ones. The reason why I like this one specifically because it gives you your macros, and you can also, if you know your macros, say you have a nutrition coach, you can input your macros in there. But I just went off the software because I wanted to do it for 90 days because I knew I was going to want to teach you guys and tell you guys this. Good. I see people logging their foods. Perfect. All right. So number one principle that I did in my 90 days for my transformation was, number one, I worked out. I worked out 4 to 5 times a week. I worked out when my body felt great. I worked out even though I didn't even know if it was working because it wasn't that much workload on that muscle group per day, but I noticed the results, especially in the 4th, 5th, 6th week. Number two, the second principle, fuel your body. You got to fuel your body. You got to hit those numbers. I think my wife's on. I think I seen Tina on. Ask Tina down below, or Tina, you comment and say yay or nay. Call me out if you want to. There were times where I did not eat my macros. I would go and just eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or bread with peanut butter on it. There were times where I would just go drink another protein shake because I didn't hit my number. Again, hitting my number for my body was more important than the procrastination and every excuse that I could have possibly made up. So I can't tell you more than enough how important it is to hit those numbers and also to drop that processed sugar. Again, I love sweet tea. True story. We probably still have the same sweet tea that Tina bought me in the refrigerator from October. I just dropped it. It's not that sweet tea is just so unhealthy. And I was only drinking it a glass or two every dinner that I had. But I noticed that the more that I dropped it, the better that my body responded. So that's that. All right. Number 3. supplements. Yeah, supplements really help. Supplements, how can I word this? I'm trying to be politically correct. Supplements, as I wrap this whole podcast show thing up. Supplements, you can do it without supplements, right? Wendy said something really dope on the podcast show. You can actually lose 100 pounds without joining a gym. All she had was a jump rope. Now, majority of us, including herself, don't want to just have jump ropes to get her there. She did it for financial things, but you can get to the result without a Mean Green membership, right? Same thing with supplements. You can get to the result without supplements, but for me specifically, I don't eat on a daily basis what I should be eating in my normal food prep, even when I'm buying it, that I need. If, for example, the amount of protein that I have to intake on a daily basis, man, that's a lot of chicken, guys. So for me, I'd rather drink 2 to 3 shakes from a protein shake to give me that number mixed with the meals. Because it's easier for me just to put it in a cup of water and drink it within 10 seconds. But it's really more difficult to do that when I'm just depending on beans or chicken or whatever it may be for my source of protein. So the number one I pulled mine out is I am an ambassador of Titan, but protein. This is the same thing that y'all guys see me taking at the gym and online. The cool thing about this protein, because there are so many sources of protein. I'm not saying this is the best or this is the worst. It's just a clean protein. When you look at the amount of sugar that goes into it, I put this in some water. And the time that I took protein, listen to me, guys, because I hear and see people do this randomly. And the only time you need to take protein is after your workouts to replenish your muscle groups or for meal replacement. Guys, you shouldn't just be drinking protein shakes just to be drinking them. All right. Nothing against muscle milk, but the amount of sugar that's in there is ridiculous. That's almost drinking a freaking margarita. Nah, ain't that bad, but it is pretty bad, right? But I see some of you guys, or I've seen people just grab muscle milks and they drinking it like it's water throughout the day. Like, you should not just be randomly drinking protein all throughout the day. Like, have a destination where you're going and know what you're putting in your body. So the times that I personally take protein, I'm not saying my way is the highway, but the times that I take in protein was after my workouts or for a meal replacement. Also, it's kind of my thing for breakfast. I don't eat. It's hard for me like to eat a heavy breakfast, so I just take this in some water or almond milk, and I call it a day for my breakfast. All right. Second thing that I take, I'm trying to be funny when I say this, but my Thug Passion. Somebody write that down below. Thug Passion. All right, so I try to have fun with this on IG. My Thug Passion is a combination of these 2 supplements. It's Pure Greens and BCAAs. All right, the difference between the 2, Pure Greens. This and what I said earlier, I don't eat perfect. It's not that I don't want to eat perfect. It's just the meal prep that I buy, they lack this. Sometimes what Tina Cook lacks what's in here, and I want a natural boost, right? The things that they have in here is some of the things that I would not have in my normal routine. So that's why I take this. Now, again, if I had this in every single meal, then I don't have to take it. But because I don't, then I take it. Second thing is my BCAAs. Look, every year we live, we get older, right? And the truth about it is my body needs recovery. And that's what BCAAs are. They're amino acids that help you recover. So if you notice, for those that see me at the gym, my Thug Passion stays with me. I get a gallon of water, I put my scoop of BCAAs in there, and I put a scoop of my Pure Greens, which is now my Thug Passion. And then I put that into my water, and I sip on that all day. All right. Again, it's giving me the nutrients that I need, that I lack, and also gives me recovery. Again, that's what I did for my 90 days. I'm not saying it's the highway, but that's what I did. Third thing out of 4. This one was the game changer. Ooh, Jared, I hope you're still on. I know you're a creatine guy. Creatine. Look, creatine gets so many misconceptions, but what I've learned with life, don't tell me what marriage looks like if you've never been married. Just to be honest, don't tell me what it's like to be a father until you're a father. Don't tell me what it looks like to lose 100 pounds until you lose 100 pounds. What I've known with creatine is that, and Jared broke this down really well one day as we were talking about it, it's one of the most scientific supplements that is the most effective supplement that you take, right? For muscle definition, I know someone said they wanted to tone up in the shoulders, or a lot of people saying they want to get more defined. I don't know why people have this illusion that this is just gonna make you a bodybuilder. Do you know how crazy life would be if you just start taking creatine and then you start looking like a bodybuilder? It just doesn't happen, right? And if it was, everybody would be looking like bodybuilders, right? Because there are thousands and millions of people that want to look that way, and it takes a lot of work and dedication to be a bodybuilder, right? But creatine specifically, man, for me, I dry take it. I'm not saying that's the way you should do it, but I dry take it after my workouts. I take it within 5 minutes because that's what the directions say. But I've really seen the difference in my body probably after like day 20, 21, 22, after that third week. Like, I was like, man, I'm feeling really good. The ingredients in the creatine is everything, man. But it has to be matched with your water intake. You cannot take creatine without good water intake. All right, we don't want to store, right? The cool thing about water, golly, I'm giving y'all so much information. I know I'm overloading you guys. The thing with water, because majority of our body's made of water, the more you put it in, the more your body flows better. And the more water you put in, the more crap it pushes out. Have anybody ever tried to drink a whole bunch of water for the very first time? Try it today. Just try to drink a gallon of water if you haven't been drinking water, and just see how much times you start peeing. You'll be peeing literally. It's an EMOM. Every 15 minutes of the hour, you're gonna be peeing, right? You'll be peeing literally 3 to 4 times every hour, and it's probably because there's a lot of crap in your body. Just to be honest, right? So from the alcohol, from the snacks, from the cokes, like it literally will flush it out your body. And for me, for my 90 days, I noticed after like day 5 or 6, I wasn't peeing as much. Why? Because I started flushing all the crap out and I wasn't putting crap in. But as you match that with your creatine, man, it's a winning formula. All right. Last thing, I didn't take this in my last 90 days. I just started doing this week. Faye might get some excitement when I say this word, ashy. So I go to my physical therapist, try to go at least once or twice a month just to get some maintenance work. And I'm always popping. Like I twist, and he always hears it, and he was like, man, how much fish do you eat? And I was like, man, I'm probably the only black guy that doesn't eat fish, but I don't eat fish. And he was like, man, do you take any omega-3s? And I was like, nope. He was like, well, you're ashy. Basically, your body is not oiled. Without oil, it's like cracking. And think about it. It's like your skin, right? If you don't put lotion on, you all like rough and your skin not smooth. It's the same way with our body. So this has nothing to do with the transformation I made. I'm just telling you what I take personally. I just started taking this, and I'm hoping to see what he says. This is just day 3 for me. But that's my little supplement area. All right. So philosophy number 3, or principle number 3. What did I take? Supplements. Why? Because I'm not perfect. Why? Because I'm busy. Why? Because I want to see a result. That's why I take supplements. 4th and last thing is discipline. This is the 4th principle. Discipline. 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 I think I'm going to get a mean green shirt that just say discipline in white on a black shirt. You have to be so disciplined. Your discipline has to be, you have to be more, you have to want it, man. And the truth be told, I didn't want it like I thought I wanted it before. You know, I'm 38 now, turned 39 this year. I'm not 28 no more. So what I used to get away at 28, I don't get away with at 38. And I can tuck my stomach in all I want when I'm at the gym or when I'm out and about. But the truth of the matter is, I know the way that I really looked and felt. So I had to be disciplined to that mindset that I didn't want to be walking around with my stomach tucked in. I didn't want to be walking around not as confident as I wanted to be, right? And discipline gets you there. You're going to have to turn drinks down. You're going to have to log food. You're going to have to work out. But the reason why I said this at the beginning, and then I'm going to answer any question that I haven't answered. The reason why working out became easier with discipline was because I looked forward to working out knowing that I didn't have to go do a workout that was going to kick my glutes and hamstrings butt so much that I'm not going to be able to sit on the toilet, literally, right? I knew that if I did a chest workout on Tuesday that I was going to be able to like push off the ground when I playing with my kids. I knew that putting on my t-shirt after a shoulder workout wouldn't be as brutal. So the reason why I discipline with my workouts, check this out. And for those that follow me know this, I will post it every now and then. I was working out in the garage at 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock sometimes at night after my day had finished, because it wasn't a mentality of beating myself up with the workout. I knew the workout was going to be okay. And because it was okay, it was sustainable, right? So when you talk about discipline, everything that I mentioned, I'm not asking for you guys to do something that you've never done to a point where it's impossible. I'm asking that everything that we mentioned today, pick something that you can be sustainable at. If it's working out 2 times a week, great. That's it. Work out 2 times a week, but pick a workload that's sustainable for you. If that's 4 times a week, work out 4 times a week. Pick a workload that's sustainable for you. Same thing when it comes to nutrition. All right. If you know you're not ready to count your food, then just say, hey man, I'm not gonna start counting my food, but you can't expect a different result. But when you do get to a point where you're saying, look, I'm gonna literally keep up with my food intake, okay. It's time to commit, but you gotta be sustainable at it. All right. The way that I logged my food was probably unorthodox for most, but I logged my food before I ate it. That was my strategy, right? Because if I eat, I forget about what I'm doing. Like, think about it. If I open up my food prep, I got some from My Fit Foods in the refrigerator. If I go grab it and I eat it, I walk away, that's it. I'm not going to log it. My strategy was, before I open it, scan it or type it in. When I go out to eat, look at the menu, type it in. Do not, that's what I told myself, do not eat and then track your food, right? It's just like a lot of other things that you probably experience in life. There are some things you should wait, because if you do it first, you're going to kind of, all right, trying to be a little funny with that one. All right. But again, discipline when it comes to food, pick something that's sustainable. Third thing, supplements. I'm not telling you to shove a whole bunch of stuff in your mouth, man. See what fits good for you. And I'm here to give you some recommendations as I go through these questions, but pick something that's sustainable for you. And that picked up my 4th principle, which is discipline. So with all that being said, this is called A Different 10 Pounds. I'm going to do this every single Thursday at 11 o'clock. If you enjoyed this, great. I want you back on. Tell everybody at the gym and boot camps that this is free for all members. You're getting on. This is no additional cost. And I'm here to dissect you guys as I go through these questions, as I finish this up. But starting January 30th, I'm going to do a challenge. It's going to be called A Different 10. This challenge is, if you're familiar with Hard 75, which is basically things that you need to do. It wasn't just working out. It was some things you needed to do. We're creating our own mean green one called A Different 10. And it's going to be some sustainable things that you need to do on a daily basis for 10 weeks. And I'm going to roll that out. Part of this 10-week process, I'm gonna kind of wait on that one because it's going to be fun to announce. But all right, let me go through this. I'm gonna come from the bottom. I'm struggling with fuel in my body. Jasmine, I struggled too. I still struggle, to be honest. Yesterday was not a good day for me with nutrition. I got to the gym, true story. I got my Fit Foods and I had my food prep, Jasmine. I got to the gym and guess what? I left it home in the garage as I was packing my bags, my food prep. All right. So I had to immediately pay $40 for Uber Eats to deliver me some food. And the thing that threw me off was I didn't have my macros for it. So it wasn't the best day for me. So my tracking was probably not the best. But the truth of the matter is anything that doesn't challenge you doesn't grow you. Right? And it's okay for you to struggle. It's just like being married. Sometimes in marriage you struggle, but what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. Same thing with our body. There's going to be some struggles through this fitness journey, but what doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. So even if you're in a matter of struggle of fueling your body, don't look at it like it has to be perfect. Because for my 90 days, I was not perfect, guys. I didn't eat perfect. As I told you, I injured myself. I couldn't work out at some moments. I was not perfect in 90 days, but I was really good for 90 days. I don't live in perfection. I just live to be good, right? If you can be good and be better every time, it's okay to struggle. That's what I'm getting to. It's okay. Just try your best every day and you'll notice that you'll pick up momentum, okay? Steph, discipline, consistency. Yes, ma'am. Big block letters, Bobby. I should go up, not down. Let me go up some. Carbon. I'm gonna pick up from carbon where Jared said it. So, am I working out too much? T, great question. So, am I working out too much? I do double gym and boot camp at least 3 times a week. Ooh, T, what do you mean double? You work out at the gym and boot camp in the same day? Let me know. I'm gonna wait for you to respond. And then I work out the other days too. Like I run on Sundays. So how long and how many days should I work out? Okay. I'm not gonna wait for you to respond. If you're working out at the gym and boot camp in the same day, yeah, you're overworking. You're over. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know, T, and I'm looking forward to sitting down with you on the podcast. A lot of people that are go-getters and you have a mentality like I'm just gonna outwork everybody. That's the tough part in fitness because you take that same mentality to fitness. Now, I always have a rule when it comes to working out. Work out to the way your body feels. I can't tell you how your body feels, but you do know. If if part of your peace and experience of having a great day is getting up and going for a walk or a jog in the morning and your body feels great all day and you want to work out again, that's cool. But if you're working out and your knees are bothering you and you mentally like got willpower just to get up and just to get out there and run, then you're overworking. Because typically, for me specifically, the results that I got, I was not working out 2 times a week. 2 times a day. I was not doing anything different than what we're doing at the gym and on our online workouts right now. Literally, that was it. So I'm curious, T, if you're able to take that same energy and match that in the kitchen or with supplements, I think you would be just fine. So every second we get older, and there is that sustainable is the question. 2 times a day, 7 days a week. Can we do that 20 years from now? That's going to be really tough. 20 years of 2-a-days is tough. If you look at professional sports, they don't train 2-a-days year round. They do it just in training camp for the first couple of weeks. That's it. So if those are highly level professionals, if their coaching staff don't make them do 2-a-days during season and all off season, it's for a reason. It's because athletes would get hurt and injured and their career would be shortened. And I want to tell you the same thing. You don't have to overwork. I would be more strict and more aggressive with nutrition potentially. But yeah, I think working out, if you're doing 4 to 6 times a day and you want to go for a run on Sundays because you feel great, great. But if your body's aching and your knees and your hips, you may be overworking. But Jared Garcia is your guy. I know he trained you, so I'm pretty sure he can give you more in depth. But I would say yes. Bobby, drinking my pure greens right now. I'm usually mixed creatine greens and reds. Is that okay? So Faye asked the question. I usually mix creatine greens and reds. Is that okay? I'm not sure what reds is, Faye. Let me know what that is. Creatine specifically. I'm actually okay mixing up my pure greens with BCAAs. I even at times, my leftover water or my Thug Passion, I'll pour my protein in there and drink it. The only thing I don't mix up is my creatine. And again, this is Chris's opinion. You probably can Google 1,000 different opinions, but me specifically, because the creatine specifically encourages you to put this in water only within 5 minutes of your workout, I believe as it explore your body is doing something really quick. So if I mix that with pure greens or I mix that with another supplement, I believe it kind of watered down the creatine. So if this is better for me to take specifically by itself, that's why I dry mouth it and just do water. I probably, if I was you, I would just take the creatine by itself, especially with it having to be in your body within a certain amount of time after a workout. Because can you imagine mixing this up with pure greens and your body's trying to break both of these down, but this is telling you that I need to be in your body in an X amount of time. It may be a slower result because this is in the way. So I probably would take the creatine by itself. That's a dope, great question. Discipline on a shirt, Bobby. Let's talk about it. Big letters, Bobby. Boom, boom. I struggle with fueling my body. I went through that with you. Can you send me a list of those supplements? Uh, Rhythm. You know what? I ain't gonna even lie. I've seen that. I've seen your name on YouTube before, but I don't know specifically who you are. So if you do me a favor, if you can, if you don't want to put it here publicly on YouTube, DM me or text me who you are, and I'll make sure I definitely will. If anybody's writing it down in the comment section, it's protein, BCAAs, pure greens, creatine, and omega-3 fish oil. All right, what else as we wrap this up? I do both gyms. Yeah, T, that might be a lot, baby girl. Work smarter, not harder. Stephanie, I definitely love my morning cardio. My days and mornings are so much better. Yeah, so Steph is the last one I see. I wouldn't eliminate that stuff if, again, some people that's their peace. They wake up and they disconnect from cell phones and emails and work and kids, and they zone out and just kind of that's their cleanse of the day. I 100% will continue to do that. Some people even fasted cardio where you do 15 minutes on the Stairmaster or go for a power walk. Like, that's beautiful. But if you're dreading for a person, I'm not saying you do it, Steph, but for a person that's like limping while they're running in the morning because they're so hurting and like, I got to get better, like, that's painful. So again, if you're like Steph and you're doing it to free yourself, that's different. But if you're running through pain and you don't know how you're going to make it for the rest of the day, you're probably overtraining 100%. Thank you, Steph, for writing those down. Sheldon, what's up, man? Okay, yeah, I got you, Sheldon. I'll send that to you, bro. Absolutely. All right, guys. I believe I went through everything. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Again, I'm going to do this for 6 weeks. I'm looking forward to rolling out a different 10 challenge. It's going to be tough. You know, in the challenge, it's not going to just be working out and nutrition. It's going to be something that you're going to have to do mentally. And it's going to be something you have to do emotionally every day. And if you've done a hard 75 or know it, it's not going to be that crazy or that intense. But a different 10 is going to be something that I believe you'll find a lot of success in. And I'm looking forward to rolling that out. I feel attacked. My ankle's been hurting for weeks. T, that right there. Right there, T. Right there. Faye, love you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys found a lot of value in this. There's no other questions. I get out of here. But, guys, just a couple of things. For Mean Green members, February 18th, we have our 50 Shades of Green. Looking forward to celebrating with you on that. We'll roll that out in a little bit. But next week, I will be doing this again. So if I see you at the gym, let me know. And I think I covered everything from my standpoint. Make sure, Simone. Last question. I want to make sure I eat enough protein, but what are some better options besides meat and protein powder? You know, that's such a great question, right? And man, I know everybody that's still on, I bet we can do this together. Let's have some fun. For those that are on, besides protein powder, and besides meat, what source of protein would you go to? I'm going to start first. And Simone, I'm going to read off everything that people say. My first two, if I was to give you two, I like beans. I like black beans is probably my favorite. Black beans, again, the reason why I like black beans because it almost doesn't matter what type of food I'm eating, right? I can be eating steak. I can rock some black beans. I can be eating Mediterranean food. I can rock some black beans. I can be eating Mexican food. I can rock some black beans. So black beans is really universal for me, and it's a really great source of protein. My second one, I'm going to give you a quick one. What's a quick one that I would do like I'm trying to go to sleep? Peanut butter. I'm not saying just get a spoon, but put peanut butter on a piece of bread or a bagel is a good one. I would say those are my favorite two. That's my kind of like my meal one and my quick one. But there are so many sources of protein. Obviously, Google can probably give you a huge list. I'm going to see if anybody's rolling in. So Ms. Lopez said Greek yogurt. Stephanie said almonds. Almonds. I see eggs, nuts, yogurt, Greek yogurt, or a couple of other ones. So Simone, you're getting some love in here. I want to lose 40 to 60 pounds for real this time. That's where we'll end it with. 40 to 60 pounds. And this goes to everybody, but Simone specifically. What does 40 to 60 pounds look like for you? And I just noticed my boy's water bottle been in this shot the whole time. But Simone, what does 40 to 60 pounds really look like for you? Anybody else? What else y'all want to do? What does 10 pounds really look like for you, sis? Bro, what if you put on 10 pounds of muscle? I want you to think about that. What does that really look like for you? Are you more confident? You have more excitement? Are you more outgoing? Do you work out more? What does that really look like for you? Because everything that you're saying is a possibility. It definitely can be done. And as I get into how and what to do, I'm about to really go against a lot of y'all Instagram people you follow. 40 to 60 pounds is it's gonna be hard. Can I be real with you guys? Like 40 to 60, losing 40 to 60 pounds is gonna be one of the hardest things you've ever done in your life. I know Chris in Mean Green is supposed to be the fluffy feeling. No, 40 to 60 pounds is gonna be hard as hell. I'm just being real. I told Wendy on the podcast, losing 100 pounds had to be one of the most hardest things that people can possibly do, and she did it. 40 to 60 pounds is gonna be hard. You're gonna have to commit. You're gonna have to be really disciplined and be consistent. There are gonna be things that's gonna be unexpected that's going to happen that you didn't expect for it to happen. You're going to get on the scale and you're going to see a number that you didn't want to see. There's going to be some days where your cycle's going on. You're not going to feel like working out. It's going to be days where you cook something and it doesn't taste good. There's going to be days where somebody told you was going to do something and they pissed you off and now you're mad for the rest of the day. There's going to be holidays within that. It's going to be birthdays within that. It's going to be traveling within that. It's going to be like all of that is going to take place while you lose 40 to 60 pounds. And the reason why I'm painting this really graphic scene is because I think that's what's missing in the fitness space. We paint this picture like, oh, you're going to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. And if you do 8 pounds in a month and you do that times 6, you're going to lose 48 pounds in 6 months. The question I have for you, Simone, and everybody else, as I'm trying to be as authentic as Chris can be, are you okay with 40 to 60 pounds taking more than 6 months? Because we put this standard that we need to be losing 8 to 12 pounds a month. And that's hard. If you don't have a private chef and you don't have Chris on your hip think about it, because it's not just working out, it's the encouragement and the discipline. You need someone to hit your hand when you try to grab those Cheetos while you're checking out of the line. Right? Or when you out in a dinner and you got somebody trying to hit on you and they buying you all these, old fashioned drinks. They try to give them to you. Like, you got to have discipline, right? So as real as I want to say this, and I love you, you 100% can do it. For real this time. But I don't want you to put a time frame on it, is what I'm getting to. Because what you're doing is you're creating a vicious, and I'm talking to everybody. I wonder who else says, I'm going to read some comments. You're putting a vicious cycle in your mentality, in your spirit, in your emotions if you say, hey, I have to lose 40 to 60 pounds by September. That is unfair. That's so unfair, everybody, to do yourself like that. So stop. Do not tell yourself you have to do something by a specific time. Just do it. My 90 days, I never said I wanted to be, I started at I think 214 or 216. I never said I wanted to get to 200 pounds. I just said for 90 days, I'm going to freaking keep going and give myself the best I can every day I get up. And I'm asking you, Simone, and everybody else that's on, stop putting yourself in a limited time to get something done. That's like you going to work better. I'm going to use me as an example. That's like me waking up and saying, if I don't implement everything that needs to be done by today, I'm a failure, and Mean Green's going to drop and nobody's going to want to be a part of it. Look, my checklist every single day, a lot of you wouldn't know it, but when I don't get something done, Faye's not canceling her membership because I didn't get something done that I wanted to get done, right? And it's the same thing with you. Stop being so brutal on yourself when it comes to time frames. So getting back to the question, absolutely you can lose 40 to 60 pounds. I just don't want you to put a time frame on it. Absolutely, if you stay consistent at a sustainable workload, maybe working out 3 times a week or 4 times a week, because you can easily work out 3 times a week and go for a walk once a week. That's a great week. And say for 4 months, you pick up momentum, you want to add another workout in. I'm great with that. So you should be too. Same thing with nutrition. You don't have to eat perfect. You may say, hey, I'm going to do my macros. Or maybe you say, hey, I'm going to food prep, or I'm going to start cooking my food. But I'm not saying go hire a chef and everything need to be weighed by the chef and then you need to eat it then. Your first step might just be meal prep and trying to hit your macros as best as possible. So make it sustainable. I'm curious, on the second week of 2024, when I have this same call, what can you be? Just think about it. Everything you imagine, you can really be that. You really can do that. Consistency, discipline. If you do that, just imagine where you will be next year at this time. I'm not saying it's 40. I'm not saying it's 60, but just imagine where you can be. I believe in that for you, Simone. All right, guys. I lost 40 pounds. It took me 2 years. I love it. 75% of my goal is watching what you put in your body and all around. Hey, man, that's it. I'm telling y'all, man, fuel your body. The workout for majority of you guys, y'all part of Mean Green. Y'all like working out, or you're learning to like working out. Now it's the fuel to work out. You are spot on, Chris. Spot on. The pressure isn't just worth it. Thank you, T. Raven, I think if fitness is a lifestyle change, then time won't matter. The goal doesn't have to change regardless on the time it takes. That's it, man. That's it. 100%, ladies. That's what Bobby said. So that's what it's going to be, Bobby. Guys, I love you, man. I tried to pour out a lot to you guys today, and hopefully my fellas and my ladies were able to take value of this. If you do, man, make sure you tell your gym member, your boot camp members about this so they can go on. They'll have access to this link as well. But I will see y'all next week, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you guys comment on my vlog. I'll post one within an hour or two on my personal page. But, guys, I'm signing out. I love you guys. Let's get it. A different 10 pounds. Take care.